Chapter 41. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The old man was fuming. Chen Fan turned, surprised to see a sly-looking middle-aged man smirking at him. Who are you? Chen Fan didn't recognize him. I'm Luo Zhixin, owner of Zuixinlu, the man announced proudly. Oh, you're the guy who's too chicken to face me directly and resorts to cheap shots, Chen Fan said with a sneer, remembering when this guy sent people to his restaurant to cause trouble, only to have it backfire and land them in a police station. Luo Zhixin, clearly embarrassed, quickly changed the subject. That was just an accident. He continued, what's a small-time restaurant owner like you doing at Chairman Yang's mansion? Did you sneak in when the guards weren't looking? If you can get in, why can't I? Seems I have more reason to be here than you, Chen Fan replied pointedly, implying that Wangjiang Pavilion outshone Zuixinlu in every way. You. Luo Zhixin sputtered, enraged. Luo's with me. Problem? A booming voice interrupted. Fan Hongkai, chairman of the Fan Group and Luo Zhixin's backer, strode up confidently. Mr. Fan, this is Chen Fan, the Wangjiang Pavilion owner I was telling you about. Luo Zhixin whispered. Him. Fan Hongkai glanced at Chen Fan, then at Xia Ruoxue beside him, surprised. He hadn't expected to see him as her escort. TSK, so young, and already a kept man. No shame at all. Fan Hongkai said with disgust. Nearby, Qian Bowen, the wealthy Qian family's eldest son, overheard their conversation. So that's Xia Ruoxue's boy toy, just a two-bit restaurant owner, he thought with disdain, but contempt was mixed with envy. Xia Ruoxue, who wouldn't give him the time of day, was with Chen Fan. It was infuriating. This kid probably only got in here because of her. A nobody with no skills, Qian Bowen mocked Chen Fan in his head to soothe his wounded pride. Humph. The more he saw Chen Fan and Xia Ruoxue together, the angrier he got. Just you wait, Chen. I'll get you for this. Qian Bowen, fuming, stormed off. He couldn't bear to stay another minute. A kept man? Chen Fan retorted without missing a beat, what's wrong with being a kept man? You wish you could be one, but you're not good enough to pull it off. What did you say? Fan Hongkai roared, clearly stung. Kid, you're finished. Wangjiang Pavilion will be bankrupt within 3 days. If it isn't, I'll eat my hat. Fan Hongkai swore. Just then, Yang Xingping, head of Yongtai Real Estate Group and host of the party, arrived after greeting other guests. Dealing with you is child's play. Are you Mr. Chen Fan? Yang Xingping asked tentatively. I am. Hello, Mr. Chen. I'm Yang Xingping. They shook hands. It's a real honor to have you here today. You'll sit next to me later, and we can chat. Yang Xingping was unusually polite, considering they'd just met. Fan Hongkai was dumbfounded. What was going on? Why was Yang Xingping fawning over this kid and offering him a seat of honor? He was joking, right? Only big shots got to sit next to Chairman Yang, and even he didn't qualify. How could a small restaurant owner? Chairman Yang, this guy is. Fan Hongkai started to warn Yang Xingping that Chen Fan was just a nobody, but before he could finish, Yang Xingping introduced, Mr. Chen is our new third-largest shareholder in Yongtai Real Estate Group. This is his first time here. Let's all get acquainted. The smiles on Fan Hongkai and Luo Zhixin's faces froze. What? Did Chairman Yang just say Chen Fan was the third-largest shareholder in Yongtai Real Estate Group? Oh, my God. Chen Fan wielded a frightening identity that Fan Hongkai would never dream of crossing. Yang Xingping, noticing the odd looks on their faces, asked, puzzled, did something happen before I got here? Nothing much, just that Mr. Fan here was threatening to put my Wangjiang Pavilion out of business within 3 days, Chen Fan said casually, curious about where Fan Hongkai got his confidence. Fan Hongkai paled, knowing he was in deep trouble. What? A cold light flashed in Yang Xingping's eyes. Chen Fan had become a major shareholder, and Yang Xingping had invited him to build a relationship. But Fan Hongkai threatened him. Fan Hongkai, inviting you was a mistake, it seems, Yang Xingping said coldly. Mr. Yang. I had no idea he was a major shareholder in Yongtai Real Estate Group. If I had, I wouldn't have dared to say a word, I swear. Fan Hongkai was desperate. He was nothing compared to Yongtai Real Estate Group. Humph, if you so much as look sideways at any of Mr. Chen's businesses, you can expect retaliation from Yongtai Real Estate Group, Yang Xingping threatened. From now on, Fan Hongkai and his cronies are banned from all my parties. Someone get them out of here, that everyone turned to look. Fan Hongkai was truly awful for forcing the easygoing Yang to do this. Fan Hongkai regretted everything. After Yang's announcement, his reputation in Jiangzhou's upper class was ruined. He quickly begged Chen Fan for mercy. I'm sorry, Mr. Chen. I didn't know who you were. I apologize. He was a far cry from his earlier arrogance. Luo Zhixin also groveled, his voice trembling. Yang's bodyguards tossed Fan Hongkai and Luo Zhixin out in disgrace. That night, they became the laughingstock of Jiangzhou's elite. Chen Fan wasn't interested in those two clowns any longer. Yang Xingping was here, and it was time to get down to business. Mr. Yang, I need to discuss something with you. Could we find a place to talk in private? Oh. Yang Xingping nodded immediately. Soon, led by Yang Xingping, Chen Fan and Xia Ruoxue were in the study. As Yang Xingping sat down, Chen Fan dropped a bombshell. Chapter 42. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The two sides got down to business. Mr. Yang, I've got a project on my hands with a potential profit in the billions. Interested? Billions? Yang Xingping shot out of his chair, staring at Chen Fan in disbelief. Their Yongtai Real Estate Group didn't even pull in billions in profit every year. Are you pulling my leg, Mr. Chen? Yang Xingping asked cautiously. Not at all. Chen Fan nodded. Could you elaborate, Mr. Chen? Yang Xingping asked, his eagerness showing. Profit was the name of the game. Have you heard about Wanheng Software Group's plan to invest in a large industrial park here in Jiangzhou? Chen Fan inquired. I've heard whispers, but I don't know any specifics. I certainly don't have any contacts at Wanheng Software Group, Yang Xingping admitted. Chen's real estate company has already set its sights on this project. My plan is to outmaneuver them and snag this industrial park deal, which is worth billions, Chen Fan explained. Chen's real estate. Mr. Chen, you're not related to them, are you? Yang Xingping ventured. I used to be part of the Chen family, but I've cut ties, Chen Fan stated plainly. It wasn't a secret, a little digging would reveal the truth. I see. Yang Xingping nodded, understanding dawning on his face. Mr. Chen, billions in profit is a sweet deal, no question. But are you going to make some bad business moves just to stick it to the Chen family? Yang Xingping asked pointedly. Absolutely not. I'm not about to shoot myself in the foot, Chen Fan assured him. Yang Xingping hesitated. He and Chen Fan were practically strangers. He was wary of taking Chen Fan at his word, especially when it could mean ruffling the feathers of the powerful Chen family. Chairman Yang, I can vouch for Mr. Chen. If anything goes south, you can come to me, Xia Ruoxue interjected, offering her support. Yang Xingping's eyes widened. He barely knew Chen Fan, but Xia Ruoxue's reputation in Jiangzhou was beyond reproach. Having the president of Xia Group backing Chen Fan carried serious weight. And by the way, Chairman Yang, the vice president of Wanheng Software Group happens to be my cousin. Xia Ruoxue added casually. Yang Xingping's eyes practically lit up. Billions in profits. Billions. He was in. If crossing the Chen family was the price, so be it. Alright, Mr. Chen, you've got a deal. As the largest shareholder of Yongtai Real Estate Group, I'm giving you full authority to handle the Wanheng Software Group project. You call the shots on behalf of Yongtai Real Estate, Yang Xingping said, stealing his resolve. I'll handle the board of directors, he added. The two men shook hands, sealing the agreement. His plan was working. Yang Xingping would handle the Yongtai Real Estate Board, and Chen could focus on Wanheng Software Group. Chen Fan began strategizing. Meanwhile, across town, at the lavish Zhu family estate, Zhu Hongyi, the guy who'd practically worshipped Chen Fan at Wei Jingxiong's manor, the guy who wanted to become Chen Fan's sworn brother, was pacing back and forth in the yard. He still had no clue how to earn his idol's approval. Just then, Zhu Hongyi's sister, Zhu Yao, came out carrying a bag. Sis, it's late. Where are you going? Zhu Hongyi asked, surprised. Oh, my best friend, Chen Wenjing, is flying back to Jiangzhou today. I'm going to pick her up from the airport, Zhu Yao explained, his sister's best friend. Chen Wenjing. Wasn't she someone from the powerful Chen family? Sis, I'll go with you, Zhu Hongyi blurted out. He was desperate to impress his idol, who'd broken ties with the Chens. Chen Wenjing seemed to be a big shot in the family, and maybe he could glean some intel from her. What do you want to come for? Zhu Yao asked, suspicious. Pretty please, sis. Zhu Hongyi begged. Finally, Zhu Yao relented. Zhu Hongyi jumped behind the wheel, speeding toward Jiangzhou Airport. After a short wait, Chen Wenjing emerged from the terminal, dragging her suitcase. She greeted Zhu Yao, her best friend, warmly, chatting excitedly. Zhu Hongyi grabbed her suitcase. Chen Wenjing didn't suspect anything, assuming he was just Zhu Yao's brother. On the way to the Chen family estate, Zhu Yao and Chen Wenjing continued to chat. Chen Wenjing revealed that she'd been ordered by her grandfather to deal with Chen Fan, even sharing some details of her plan. Zhu Hongyi quietly took it all in, memorizing every word. He thought to himself, trying to mess with my idol, huh? Tomorrow, I'm telling Chen Fan everything. The next morning, Chen Fan had no classes. Shortly after waking up, the system's voice chimed in, ding, dot, on the 10th day after severing ties, you will be rewarded with a top-tier manor in Jiangzhou, location, Jiangzhou Liming District. Chen Fan was stunned. Yesterday, he'd joked with Xia Ruoshui that he envied Yang Xingping and Wei Jingxiong's manors and wished he had one too. And now, the system was handing him the keys to the best manor in Jiangzhou, he thought, the system is amazing. I love it, Chen Fan smiled faintly. After a quick breakfast, he hopped in his car and headed straight for the address the system had given him. 40 minutes later, Chen Fan arrived at his destination. He took one look at the place and his jaw dropped. Chapter 43. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This place was built back in 17, is this even mine? Seriously? This isn't a manor, it's a freaking palace. Just looking around, this place has gotta be dozens of acres. It's way bigger than Wei Jingxiong's and Yang Xingping's places combined. Are you Mr. Chen Fan? That the estate manager, who was waiting inside, approached. That's right. Chen Fan nodded. Hello, Mr. Chen. Just sign this contract, and the whole place is yours. Our boss already got the money. The manager handed him 2 copies of the contract. Chen Fan glanced over them, didn't see anything fishy, and signed both. He kept one and handed the other back. From now on, this massive estate belonged solely to Chen Fan. So, Mr. Chen, would you like me to show you around? The manager asked politely. Yeah, that'd be great. Chen Fan nodded. Alright, follow me. The manager then called for a golf cart. Mr. Chen, the whole place is over 30 acres. It's huge. If we walk, it'll take all day. Let's take a quick tour in the cart and get a general overview. Over 30 acres? That's insane. Chen Fan was surprised. I really need him to show me around, or I'll get lost in my own backyard. Chen Fan hopped into the cart, and they started their tour. Mr. Chen, the previous owner, brought in some foreign architects and modeled the place after Versailles. Cost him nearly $1 billion to build back then. That was $1 billion 6 or 7 years ago, the manager specified. At the peak of the market, it was valued at over $2 billion. Even now, it's gotta be worth at least $140 maybe 150 million. It's got private tennis courts, a golf course, a library, wine cellar. Chen Fan was a little overwhelmed. Tennis courts and a golf course. That's just crazy. The Chen family's compound looked like a shack compared to this. Good thing the place was a little out of the way. If it were in a prime location, this land would be worth tens of billions. Adding this to his assets, Chen Fan's net worth was up to 13 billion. After touring the front, they headed to the back. Chen Fan's eyes were immediately drawn to a huge, beautiful lake in the distance. That lake is man-made and it's all part of the property, the manager said. This place has its own lake. Chen Fan had never seen anything like it. After the tour, the manager left, and Chen Fan sat alone in the main living room, which was easily 7 or 8,000 square feet. This system reward is insane, Chen Fan thought, I love it. Just then, an unfamiliar number popped up on his phone. Chen Fan answered it. Hey, is this Chen Fan? It's Zhu Hongyi, the chubby kid who wanted to be your #1 fan at Wei's place. Oh, hey, what's up? Chen Fan asked. Listen, Fan, I got some intel on the Chen family, and I thought you should know. Zhu Hongyi then spilled everything he'd overheard about Chen Wenjing's plans. Chen Wenjing's back. Chen Fan raised an eyebrow. Chen Wenjing was one of the few people in the Chen family he actually liked. She even tutored him in high school. She was considered pretty sharp by the family. Hey, Fan, can I be real for a sec? Zhu Hongyi hesitated. What is it? Based on her tone last night, she seemed to admire that you cut ties with the family. Seemed like she's only going against you, 'cause she has to. Chen Fan nodded. He didn't doubt Zhu Hongyi, they got along well enough before, and her situation in the family wasn't that different from his. She was just considered more promising, so she got better treatment. In the end, old man Chen only cared about his oldest grandson, Chen Faming, whom he called the golden child. Everyone else was just an afterthought. Even someone as smart as Chen Wenjing was probably only worth a good marriage in his eyes. After hearing Zhu Hongyi out, Chen Fan got an idea. Chen Wenjing was smart, and she knew her place in the family. If he could turn her against them, it'd be a huge slap in the face for old man Chen, and if he could turn her and keep her inside the Chen family, she'd be a walking time bomb, posing a bigger threat to the family than ever. Turning Chen Wenjing would be way more valuable than just ruining her plan. Chen Fan decided to give it a shot. After a few more words with Zhu Hongyi, Chen Fan hung up and started making plans. First, he set up a contingency plan, just in case his scheme failed, so he could easily counter Chen Wenjing. Even if it fell through, he wouldn't lose much, but if it worked, it'd be huge. After setting everything up, Chen Fan texted Chen Wenjing, asking to meet up. Chen Wenjing was a little thrown off by the message. After hesitating, she agreed. She was curious about this cousin who used to be a nobody. Honestly, she wouldn't be going after Chen Fan if the old man hadn't ordered her to. She heard his life was way better now than when he was with the family, and he even made friends with guys like Wei Jingxiong. She wanted to know how he did it. Half an hour later, they met at a cafe in Jiangzhou. Chen Wenjing was floored when she saw Chen Fan again. He was a completely different person. The old Chen Fan was so plain. The current Chen Fan was calm and composed, with an air of confidence that came from having power. Before Chen Wenjing could say hello, Chen Fan dropped a bomb. Chapter 44. You are listening at novelfull.audio. They were tight, both of them. You thinking about cutting ties with the Chen family? Chen Fan asked. Chen Wenjing was taken aback. Her heart skipped a beat. She usually kept things under wraps. Ever since her mom passed, she hadn't really felt anything for those people anyway. Chen Wenjing kept her cool, paused for a sec, then gave a small smile. I don't have your guts or your pull. She sat down, a glint of admiration in her eyes as she looked at Chen Fan. Uncle and Aunt Wu were good to me back in the day. Even though they're gone, I can't just forget that. The old man specifically told me to deal with you this time, and I even came up with a plan. She hesitated, then decided to spill the beans, not holding anything back. I don't want to go after you, but if I don't, the old man will come down hard on me. So, how about we fake a fight, put on a show, and call it a draw. You don't lose anything, and I can tell the old man I gave it my best shot. What do you say, that this was a huge risk for Chen Wenjing? If the old man ever found out, she'd be toast. The uncle and aunt Wu she mentioned were Chen Fan's parents. They vanished without a trace a year ago. Chen Fan, the Chen family, even the cops had been searching, but nothing. It was like they just disappeared off the face of the earth. Ever since Chen Fan got his system, he'd been secretly looking for his folks too, but still nothing. Chen Fan's face darkened. His parents had loved him dearly, and he wasn't about to give up. He had to find them. It was because his parents weren't around to protect him that Chen Fan had fallen so low in the Chen family pecking order this past year. Snapping back to reality, Chen Fan looked at Chen Wenjing again, thinking there was a decent chance he could get her to switch sides. You know who Chen Shanhai is, and you know we don't mean squat to him. Chen Feiming's the only grandson that matters. Chen Fan's words hit home. Hearing Chen Feiming's name clearly triggered something in Chen Wenjing. If it wasn't for Chen Feiming, Chen Wenjing would be the top dog among the younger generation of the Chen family, and she wouldn't be in this awkward spot. And if nothing crazy happens, Chen Shanhai will probably use you to marry into some big-shot family one day. Chen Fan added. Chen Wenjing's face dropped. That was the one thing she hated even thinking about. She was working her tail off, fighting tooth and nail, just to avoid becoming some kind of marriage chip. But no matter what she did, the old man just didn't give her the time of day. She hated to admit it, but odds were high she'd be married off someday. I can help you get out of that mess, and even help you make your dreams come true, Chen Fan said. Chen Wenjing's eyes lit up. Whether she made her dreams come true or not wasn't even the point. Just getting out of that marriage trap would be worth anything. I'm not you. I don't have the guts to cut ties with the Chen family. Chen Wenjing replied, deflated. When she heard Chen Fan had taken the initiative to break things off and refused to get married, she'd been pumped and wanted to do the same, but then she thought about it. Even if she did break away, she might not be able to escape the old man's grasp. She couldn't go up against the whole Chen family on her own. If she pulled that stunt, she probably wouldn't last a week before the Chen family crushed her. Just stick with me, and I'll help you out. Chen Fan insisted. Chen Wenjing was tempted, but her brain slammed the brakes. She didn't know how strong Chen Fan was, or who'd come out on top when he went head-to-head with the Chen family. What if she agreed, left the Chen family, and sided with Chen Fan, only for the Chen family to win down the line? What then? If she was going to rebel, she needed to see what Chen Fan was really made of first. Thanks, I'll think about it. Chen Wenjing didn't commit, but she didn't say no either. Here's something you should know. The old man's been out of Jiangzhou lately. He's trying to snag some projects from Wanheng Software Group. In a couple of days, Vice President Han from Wanheng is coming to Jiangzhou for a quiet visit at the old man's invitation. The old man's got it all planned out. Once he bribes Vice President Han, Wanheng's project will be in the Chen family's pocket. Chen Wenjing lowered her voice, revealing a pretty juicy secret, which was more than enough to be considered a favor. Oh, Chen Fan raised his eyebrows. That intel was a welcome surprise. Instantly, Chen Fan had a plan to take the wind out of Chen's sails and swipe that Wanheng Software Group project right out from under them. With this, taking down the Chen family would be a piece of cake. Hey, Wenjing, you back in Jiangzhou? Just then, a surprised voice cut through the air. Young guy with dyed yellow hair strolled over, his eyes practically popping out of his head at the sight of Chen Wenjing. Seeing this dude, Chen Wenjing felt a headache coming on. His name was Sun Yuanshu, son of Sun Yongtai, a big shot in Jiangzhou, and one of her persistent admirers. One of the reasons Chen Wenjing didn't like sticking around Jiangzhou was to avoid this creep. Sun Yuanshu had a seriously bad reputation in these parts. Get lost, and give me your seat, Sun Yuanshu ordered Chen Fan. Then, Sun Yuanshu started hitting on Chen Wenjing again, which was really starting to get on her nerves. Just as Chen Fan was about to speak up, he got a call from another neighbor he knew from Yujing Villa. Zhao Lin Yun. Chen Fan picked up. Mr. Chen, hey, my brother-in-law wants to meet you, Zhao Lin Yun explained. He'd been at his brother-in-law's place earlier and mentioned Chen Fan in passing. Zhao Linyong's brother-in-law was immediately intrigued and wanted to hook up. Then, Zhao Linyong passed the phone to his brother-in-law. "Is that Mr. Chen?" "Hello, I'm Sun Yongtai." It was Zhao Linyong's brother-in-law, Sun Yongtai, on the other end. Wait a minute. Hearing that voice, Chen Fan wore a strange expression. "Hey, Mr. Sun, how's it going?" Chen Fan replied, keeping his cool. "Are you deaf, kid? I told you to give up your seat, didn't you hear me?" Seeing Chen Fan still sitting there, not offering his seat, Sun Yuanshu was getting cocky. "You still on the phone? Give me your seat first. Tell Grandpa on the other end to hold on." Sun Yuanshu ordered, full of himself. "Huh? You sure you want this, Grandpa, to wait?" Chen Fan asked, straight-faced. "Of course." Sun Yuanshu nodded without hesitating. "All right, talk to him yourself. If he's cool with it, you can have my seat," Chen Fan said with a friendly smile, handing the phone to Sun Yuanshu. Sun Yuanshu didn't think twice. He snatched the phone and barked into it, "Grandpa, I got something to take care of with this kid." Hold your horses. Chapter 45. You are listening at novelfull.audio. They were both livid. Sun Yongtai, about to exchange pleasantries with Chen Fan, went ballistic when he heard someone on the phone talk to him like that. Who did this guy think he was? Sun Yongtai was a big shot in Jiangzhou. Wealthy and powerful people kissed up to him constantly, and nobody ever dared to talk back. Now some punk was calling him grandson. This Chen Fan had some nerve. Wait a minute. No, that second voice didn't sound like Chen Fan, but why did it sound so familiar? Suddenly, it clicked. Sun Yongtai realized who it was. "Hey, are you deaf? Get lost," Sun Yuanshu said impatiently, seeing that the person on the other end wasn't responding. "You little twerp, say that again." Sun Yongtai roared. "I'll say it again, grandson, get lost." "And who the heck are you calling a little twerp?" Sun Yuanshu shot back, still arrogant. "Who am I? I'm your father." Sun Yongtai yelled, exploding. "My father? I'm your father, you." Sun Yuanshu started to reply, then stopped dead. That voice really did sound like his father, Sun Yongtai. "Dad, is that you?" Sun Yuanshu asked, his voice shaking. "Who else would it be?" Sun Yongtai sputtered, completely enraged. "Dad, really, you?" Sun Yuanshu's face fell. Next to him, Chen Wenjing's jaw dropped when she heard Sun Yuanshu addressing someone else on the phone. The person on the other end was Sun Yuanshu's father, Sun Yongtai, a big shot in Jiangzhou. She hadn't really registered what was happening, but now, looking back, it was a complete train wreck in the making. As for Chen Fan, he was fighting to keep from cracking up. This was too good. Meeting Sun Yuanshu, this model's son, Chen Fan couldn't help but feel sorry for Sun Yongtai for a split second. "You idiot, what are you up to?" Sun Yongtai snapped, quickly gathering himself. He skipped the lecture about addressing his elders for now and focused on the bigger issue. His brother-in-law had told him that this phone number belonged to the mysterious owner of Villa No. 8 in Yujing Villa. Now, his son had his hands on it, and his son had been so arrogant, implying he had business with this kid and telling him to go away first. What did that mean? It meant his son was provoking the mysterious owner of Villa No. 8, the disrespect thing could be dealt with at home later. This, however, was a whole different ballgame. I wasn't doing anything. Sun Yuanshu stammered. Just telling some kid to scram so I could get next to Chen Wenjing. Telling some kid to scram, you don't mean the owner of this phone, do you? Sun Yongtai asked carefully. Yeah, so what? 2 seconds later, Sun Yongtai got the answer he dreaded. Seriously. His son had really picked a fight with the owner of Villa No. 8, and actually told him to get lost? You moron, you can't go 5 minutes without messing things up for me, can you? Sun Yongtai screamed. Huh? What's going on? Sun Yuanshu was clueless. The owner of this phone is a huge deal. I was trying to get to know him. And now, thanks to you, that's completely shot to hell. Sun Yongtai ground out. He was trying to network and make connections, and now his good son had sabotaged the whole thing. What? The owner of this phone is a big shot? Sun Yuanshu asked, stunned. He looked at Chen Fan with newfound fear and respect. Huh? Chen Wenjing was floored too, hearing Sun Yuanshu's father's words and seeing his reaction. Sun Yongtai, a major player in Jiangzhou, was calling Chen Fan a big shot. That meant Chen Fan's status was even higher than she thought. She knew Chen Fan's star was rising, and that he had some connection to Wei Jingxiong, but Wei Jingxiong was just a local bigwig. Sun Yongtai was in a different league. If Sun Yongtai was calling Chen Fan a big shot, that meant Chen Fan was way more powerful than she'd imagined. At that moment, Chen Wenjing was truly shaken. Maybe Chen Fan really did have the power to take down the Chen family. Dad, what do I do now? Sun Yuanshu whined. What do you think? Sun Yongtai snarled. The next second, Sun Yuanshu was hugging Chen Fan's leg, crying and sniveling. Dude, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I messed up. Chen Fan grabbed the phone again. Sun Yongtai's apologetic voice filled the receiver. Mr. Chen, I'm truly sorry. I haven't raised him right. Please don't be angry, it's all my fault. I'll come by later to apologize in person. Please don't hold it against this good-for-nothing. Chen Fan was thoroughly disgusted by being clung to by a grown man in broad daylight. He waved a hand, and Sun Yuanshu, looking like he'd just been granted a stay of execution, was about to bolt when Chen Fan stopped him. One more thing. Anything. Just say the word. Sun Yuanshu stammered. Leave Chen Wenjing alone. Don't ever show your face around her again, got it? Chen Fan ordered. Got it. Miss Chen, I'll never bother you again, and I'll stay far away. Sun Yuanshu promised hastily. Seeing that Chen Fan wasn't going to say anything else, Sun Yuanshu scrambled away. Chen Wenjing gave Chen Fan a grateful look. Thank you. Chen Wenjing was truly grateful for him getting rid of Sun Yuanshu. Sun Yongtai's voice came over the phone again. Thank you, Mr. Chen, for not being too hard on that idiot. I owe you one. If you ever need anything from me, I'm your guy. I still have some pull in Jiangzhou. To really show his gratitude, Sun Yongtai made it clear that he was indebted to Chen Fan and would help him in any way he could. By the way, are you home tonight, Mr. Chen? I'd like to come over and apologize in person. Finally, Sun Yongtai asked. Just as Chen Fan was about to answer, the system chimed in. Ding. Task. Agree to Sun Yongtai's request to apologize in person. Reward. Top-tier antique from a major museum. Guaranteed value over 8 figures. Reward, 61 experience points. Chapter 46. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The first time I saw the mission pop up, I was like, huh. Chen Fan was caught off guard. The reward? A top-tier antique, museum-grade stuff. A real treasure. No way I'm passing this up, and a whopping 61 experience points. That puts me at 360. Level 2 is just around the corner. I'm free tonight, Chen Fan told Sun Yongtai. Great, Mr. Chen. See you then. Sun Yongtai hung up. Chen Wenjing watched him, impressed. Never thought you'd be hobnobbing with guys like Sun Yongtai. So, who's your money on now? Me, or the Chen family? Chen Fan asked. Chen Wenjing paused. You. She'd just seen what Chen Fan could do. It was a shock, and he's only 19, still a sophomore. Give him time, and he'll blow the Chen family out of the water, no question. Honestly, he's already pretty scary. I'm still saying the same thing. Stand with me, and I can get you out of that arranged marriage nonsense. You can finally be your own person. Chen Fan laid it on the line. Chen Wenjing looked serious, her mind racing. Finally, she took a deep breath. Okay, I'm in. She knew Chen Fan's potential. Plus, she was sick of being treated like a bargaining chip. It was a no-brainer, really. I can't cut ties with the Chen family right away. I need to plan it out. No problem. Chen Fan understood, if she bailed now, it would sting. But if she waited for the perfect moment, when it would hurt the most? That would be a knockout. Besides, she's worth more inside the Chen family right now. Thanks for understanding, Chen Wenjing said, relieved. When you're ready, let me know. I'll help you make it happen. I will. Chen Wenjing nodded. From now on, her fate was tied to Chen Fan. She was betting everything on him, he better not let her down. He has to beat the Chen family. You made the right call, Chen Fan said with a smile. He knew Chen Wenjing pretty well. She's not some genius. She just works harder than anyone else. Back in high school, she slept like 3 hours a night just to get into a good college. That kind of dedication, you gotta respect. With Chen Wenjing on his side, he had another player on the board. When you get back, find out when Han, the Wanheng Software Group VP, is coming to Jiangzhou, and what kind of deal he's making with the Chens. Chen Fan reminded her. The second you hear anything, get in touch. The timing of Han's visit was crucial to Chen Fan's plan to screw over the Chens. Got it. Leave it to me. Chen Wenjing nodded. Chen Fan was throwing her a lifeline. She wouldn't let him down. She'd prove her worth. After they talked, Chen Wenjing left. When she got back to the Chen house, she found that the old man, Chen Shanhai, and her older brother were back early from Wanheng Software Group. Everyone was surprised. Dad, weren't you supposed to come back with VP Han in a couple of days? What happened? Chen Yuzhen asked. Plans changed. I came back ahead of schedule, Mr. Chen replied. No need to wait. VP Han will be in Jiangzhou tomorrow afternoon, under the radar. Is that place I told you about ready? That he looked serious. They couldn't risk anyone finding out about the connection between the Chen family and VP Han. Inviting him to the Chen residence was out of the question. So, Mr. Chen tasked Chen Yuzhen with finding a discreet place where they could talk in private, a place where he could butter Han up with some serious cash. Don't worry, Dad. I booked the whole Tinyu Tower, the fanciest tea house in Jiangzhou. We can talk in private there. Tinyu Tower. Good choice. The rumor was that the owner of Tinyu Tower was a big shot, so it was definitely secure. Mr. Chen was pleased. With the location locked down, all that was left was getting the money together to bribe VP Han, a hefty sum, which Mr. Chen was handling personally. That's why he rushed back. Chen Wenjing heard everything. Later, when nobody was around, Chen Wenjing texted Chen Fan all the info about VP Han changing his arrival and the Tinyu Tower meeting. Chen Fan was stunned. The Chens changed the playbook. Good thing he flipped Chen Wenjing. Otherwise, he would have been blind. Now that he knew the score, Chen Fan started making moves. The plan to take down the Chen family was officially a go. Chapter 47. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Later that night, a knock came at the door. Chen Fan answered it to find Zhao Lin Yun, his neighbor from Yujing Villa, standing with a man in casual clothes who still radiated an air of authority. Mr. Chen, let me introduce you. This is my brother-in-law, Sun Yongtai, Zhao Lin Yun said with a smile. Brother-in-law, this is Mr. Chen Fan I was telling you about. Sun Yongtai, looking at Chen Fan, couldn't help but comment, Mr. Chen is so young. Hello, Chen Fan replied. They shook hands. Chen Fan invited them inside. After a few pleasantries, Sun Yongtai got straight to the point, apologizing for his son's behavior. To show my sincerity, I've brought a small token of my apology. Please accept it, Mr. Chen. He pulled a document from his briefcase and placed it on the table. Chen Fan glanced down and his eyes widened. The cover read, Voluntary Donation Agreement of Partial Shares of Tinyu Tower. Even Zhao Linyong was taken aback. He hadn't expected his brother-in-law to offer shares in Tinyu Tower. This was a generous gesture. I'm sure you're familiar with Tinyu Tower, Sun Yongtai said. Chen Fan nodded. Yes, I've heard of it. He recalled Chen Wenjing's message about the Chen family and Wanheng Software Group's VP, Han, secretly meeting there. Seeing that Chen Fan recognized the name, Sun Yongtai continued, to be honest, Tinyu Tower is one of my less publicized ventures. It's quite influential here in Jiangzhou. This agreement grants you 30% ownership. Just sign, and you'll be one of the owners. The gift was beyond Chen Fan's expectations. Tinyu Tower was a well-known establishment in Jiangzhou, worth at least 300 or 400 million yuan. 30% was around 100 million, it was their first meeting, and Sun Yongtai was already offering a gift worth $100 million. That was really something. I don't know. Chen Fan began. Nonsense. It's just a small gesture. Don't refuse, Sun Yongtai chuckled. We'll be partners, running the place together, making decisions as a team. He had actually come prepared with 2 gifts. The shares of Tinyu Tower and a set of keys to a Rolls-Royce Cullinan worth around $8 or $9 million. His plan was to give Chen Fan the car if he seemed ordinary. But, if Chen Fan impressed him as someone with real potential, he would give him the shares of Tinyu Tower instead. After meeting Chen Fan, Sun Yongtai was increasingly convinced that Chen Fan's future prospects were limitless, so he offered the shares. Lin Yun was impressed by his brother-in-law's generosity. He knew that his brother-in-law's success in Jiangzhou came from exactly this kind of vision and courage, an ability to think and act beyond the norms of ordinary people. How many people would give away a gift worth $100 million? Chen Fan understood. Sun Yongtai was looking to build a connection, expand his network. Alright, then I thank you, Mr. Sun, Chen Fan said. He saw no reason to offend someone so eager to befriend him. Besides, becoming part owner of Tinyu Tower would be a considerable asset in his plan to take down the Chen family, especially since the Chen family and VP Han were using Tinyu Tower as a meeting place. Being an owner would make dealing with them much easier, it would benefit both of them. Sun Yongtai smiled, relieved. They exchanged contact information and made tentative plans to grab tea sometime. After a while, Sun Yongtai and Lin Yun left. After they left, Chen Fan returned to making preparations for the attack on the Chen family. The suddenness of it all had thrown him slightly off balance. Moments later, the system notification chimed. Ding. Quest completed. Accepted. Sun Yongtai's personal apology. Reward, top-tier treasure, Ru Kiln Sky Blue Glaze Sunflower Wash Basin, located in your study. Reward, 61 experience points. Ru Kiln Sky Blue Glaze Sunflower Wash Basin. Oh my god, the system is giving me a Ru Kiln. Chen Fan exclaimed. Ru kills, among the 5 great kills of the Northern Song dynasty, were considered treasures, even by emperors. After 1,000 years, they are incredibly rare, and absolutely top-tier antiques. Every museum would present it as the treasure of the town, and even several provincial museums did not have such items. Chen Fan was so excited, he hurried to his study. He saw a very fancy brocade box. He gently opened the box to see a jade-like, sky blue brush washer. This was the reward, a Ru Kiln Sky Blue Glaze Sunflower Wash Basin. Chen Fan had never seen such a top-tier treasure before, but now he could hold it. Having a system was so cool. He picked it up gently and inspected it. He felt that the ancients had superb skills. It was so beautiful. After enjoying it, Chen Fan put the treasure back into the box. Being curious, he checked it out online. The conservative estimate for the Ru Kiln Sky Blue Glaze Sunflower Wash Basin was between 300 and 400 million yuan, and the price could go up infinitely. There were so few left in the world, and it could not be remade. The rewards were so good. He put it away, satisfied. Late at night, Chen Fan got a call from Xia Ruoshui's cousin, Xia Wenyu, who was the vice president of Wanheng Software Group. Chen Fan, Han Zhaohui can't come to Jiangzhou tomorrow. He can't leave the company for half a step. Xia Wenyu suddenly dropped a bomb. Chapter 48. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chaos broke loose on both sides. Han Zhaohui was the vice president of Wanheng Software Group, the guy Mr. Chen was trying to snag. Chen Fan was caught off guard. What's going on? Xia Wenyu hesitated, then spilled the beans. Well, the company was just hit by a mysterious hacker group. They leaked a ton of our secrets. The chairman pulled all of us executives into an emergency meeting to deal with it. I don't see this getting resolved in the next 4 or 5 days. The chairman's ordered all senior executives to stay put, ready to respond. Han Zhaohui's definitely not going to make it to Jiangzhou now. If he wants to sneak off to Jiangzhou, he'll have to wait until this whole mess blows over, so at least 4 or 5 days. I see. Chen Fan nodded. This emergency was actually good news for him. With Han Zhaohui coming tomorrow, time was too short. He wasn't ready, and his chances weren't great, but if Han Zhaohui showed up in 4 or 5 days, Chen Fan would be prepped and ready, and his chances of taking down the Chen family would skyrocket. More importantly, with 4 or 5 days, Chen Fan was sure he could break through the $20 billion mark, and maybe even become the biggest shareholder of Yongtai Real Estate Group. That would give him a huge advantage, and after successfully taking down the Chen family, he'd be able to rake in even more of those billions in profits. Got it. Thanks for the heads up, Wenyu. Chen Fan thanked her for the intel. Once this goes down, you'll definitely be rewarded. Don't thank me, thank Ruoshui. Sometimes I'm jealous. You must have been a saint in a past life to get her. Xia Wenyu said, the only reason she was helping Chen Fan so much was because of her cousin, Xia Ruoshui. If it weren't for her, she wouldn't have lifted a finger for some random guy. Well. Chen Fan agreed. He definitely owed Ruoshui big time. Okay, I gotta go. People will start to wonder what I'm doing. I'll let you know if anything else comes up. With that, Xia Wenyu hung up. Not long after, Chen Wenjing called Chen Fan, frantic. She told him that Mr. Chen, who was supposed to be resting, had suddenly rushed off to Zhonghai, and before leaving, he told Chen Yuzhen to push back the Tingyu Pavilion reservation by a few days. Like something big was going down, the old man had been tossing and turning all night, exhausted. Before he left, he grumbled about how his worthless descendants were making his old bones suffer, and how he was probably losing years off his life. Chen Fan just smirked. Even if the Chen family had a perfect plan, it wouldn't matter. They couldn't plan for everything. Got it, thanks. Chen Fan said. This pretty much confirmed what Xia Wenyu had told him. After hanging up, Chen Fan stretched and finally got a decent night's sleep. Between the Ru kiln he scored tonight and the shares of Tingyu Tower that Sun Yongtai had gifted him, his net worth had jumped by hundreds of millions. If everything went as planned, tomorrow's reward would push him past the $15 billion mark. $15 billion was an insane amount of money, not just for ordinary people, but for a lot of rich folks, too. He was one step closer to crushing the Chen family, bankrupting the Su family of Jinling, and grinding them into the dirt. Chen Fan slept soundly that night. The next morning, he went to class, relaxed. As soon as class ended, the system chimed in. Ding. Day 11 of severing ties. Reward, 100% ownership of Jiangzhou's top 5-star hotel, Wankai International Hotel. Wankai International Hotel. Chen Fan was surprised by today's reward. Wankai International Hotel was the most luxurious 5-star hotel in Jiangzhou, bar none. It had 52 floors, a total of 373 rooms, and 3 massive, pillar-free banquet halls that could each hold nearly 1,000 people. On top of that, Wankai International Hotel had 6 large conference rooms, an amazing restaurant, and a huge spa. Even the cheapest room at Wankai International Hotel cost over $2,000 a night. He couldn't believe the system was handing him Wankai International Hotel. Not bad at all. Chen Fan figured the hotel was worth around $1.30 or $1.4 billion. Too bad, just 100 or 2 million short of hitting $15 billion. Chen Fan said, a bit bummed. Just then, Yang Xingping, chairman of Yongtai Real Estate Group, called. Mr. Chen, do you have time this afternoon? I told them about our plan to go after the Wanheng Software Group project. The other major shareholders want to meet you and talk details. Yang Xingping explained. Don't worry, Mr. Chen, I've already filled them in on pretty much everything. You just need to show up and chat a bit. Chen Fan was about to answer when the system popped up a task, as if it had heard his complaint from just a moment ago. Ding, task issued, go to Yongtai Real Estate Group and convince the other shareholders. Time limit, 5 hours. Reward, 2 high-end residential buildings, worth approximately $300 million. Reward, 53 experience points. Chen Fan's eyes lit up. The system was practically reading his mind. He had just been whining about being so close to $15 billion, and now the system was handing him a task with 2 luxury buildings as a reward. This was perfect. If he pulled this off and got those buildings, Chen Fan's net worth would immediately shoot past the $15 billion mark. Okay, I'm in. I'll see Chairman Yang this afternoon. Chen Fan agreed instantly. Time flew by, and around 2 p.m., Chen Fan headed straight for Yongtai Real Estate Group. Chapter 49. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Across the hall, in the chairman's office, more of Yongtai Real Estate Group's heavy-hitting shareholders had gathered. They settled onto the sofas, listening as Yang Xingping laid out his pitch. Look, folks, if we land this Wanheng Software Group project, we're talking billions in profit. You're all shareholders, you all get a piece of the action. Who wouldn't want a bite of that apple? That he pretty much had everyone else on board, but then Fang Ziyuan, the company's second-largest shareholder, had to show up and throw a wrench in the works. Fang Ziyuan, that old stick in the mud, had always been risk-averse, bordering on cowardly. The second he heard this project involved going up against the Chen family, he flat-out refused. The payout is tempting, sure, but we're going head-to-head with the Chens. This isn't some mom-and-pop operation. Chen Shanhai, the family head, is a force to be reckoned with. I don't need to spell it out. Fang Ziyuan said, like he was dropping pearls of wisdom. True enough. Director Fang's got a point. The Chens aren't people you want to cross, and Chen Shanhai is even worse. His words were met with murmurs of agreement. You're scared of your own shadow. If you're so afraid of taking risks, we might as well pack it in. Just sit around and wait for the company to die, Yang Xingping shot back. We're talking billions here. Who cares if we ruffle the Chen family's feathers? Chairman Yang, that's great if we win. But what if we lose? We miss out on the project and make an enemy of the Chens. That's a lose-lose situation. Just wait until Chen Shanhai gets wind of this. Knowing him, he'll come after us with everything he's got. Aren't you worried? Fang Ziyuan pressed. A hush fell over the room. Even Yang Xingping was at a loss for words. Then, a voice cut through the silence. Worried? Why should I be worried? All eyes turned as Chen Fan strolled into the room, cool as could be. Director Chen. Perfect timing. Everyone, this is Director Chen Fan, our third-largest shareholder. And this is Director Fang Ziyuan, and this is... Yang Xingping began introducing everyone. He gestured for Chen Fan to take a seat. Fang Ziyuan wasted no time getting down to business. I hear Director Chen used to be part of the Chen family himself, before cutting ties. And I understand it's Director Chen who proposed going after the Wanheng Software Group project, making him the one calling the shots. That's right. Is there a problem? Chen Fan nodded. A problem? Ha! Has Director Chen considered what happens if this whole thing blows up in our faces? For you, it's no big deal. You've already burned your bridges with the Chens. Fang Ziyuan challenged. But what about the rest of us? If you fail, we're the ones who'll pay the price. And why are you so sure we're going to fail? Chen Fan countered. Why? Simple. I don't believe you have what it takes. Fang Ziyuan didn't mince words. Chen Fan was young enough to be his grandson. There was no way he could be a match for the Chen family. I think you'll find I'm more than capable. Chen Fan started to say, rising to grab a glass of water. He stood a little too quickly, and a card slipped from his pocket. Click, One of the shareholders reached down to pick it up, thinking it was just an ordinary card. He was about to hand it back. But then he got a good look at it, a black card, and froze. "Oh my God, this. He stammered, completely floored. The others, noticing his reaction, leaned in for a look. "What's wrong? Lao Lu, what's the deal with the card?" This is a MasterCard black card from the First Royal Bank of the oil country." The shareholder gasped. Everyone in the room was rich, and they knew what that meant. The others crowded around, their curiosity piqued. Even Fang Ziyuan couldn't hide his excitement. "Director Chen, is that a First Royal Bank of the oil country MasterCard black card?" That the first shareholder handed the card back to Chen Fan, practically bowing. "Thank you." Chen Fan took the card. "Director Chen, you're a First Royal Bank of the oil country black card holder?" Fang Ziyuan asked, his voice a little shaky. "Yep." "Problem?" Chen Fan replied casually. That was all they needed to hear. Director Chen was a First Royal Bank of the oil country black card holder. In all of Jiangzhou, he was probably the only one with that kind of card. No wonder he was so confident, no wonder he dared to take on the Chens. He had the juice to back it up. "Director Chen, I'm on board with your plan to take down the Chens." "Me too," that the shareholders clamored to show their support. Even Fang Ziyuan was eating his words. "I was wrong. The young generation has what it takes. I'm with Director Chen." When Fang Ziyuan looked at Chen Fan again, the skepticism and disdain had vanished, replaced by a hint of awe. Yongtai Real Estate Group was now fully behind Chen Fan's plan. The system chimed in, "Ding, dot, mission complete. Persuade the shareholders of Yongtai Real Estate Group, dot, congratulations, received 2 luxury residential buildings, estimated value, 300 million, dot, congratulations, received 53 experience points, mission accomplished. 2 buildings worth 300 million. Instantly, Chen Fan's net worth rocketed past 15 billion. Plus, 53 experience points. His total was now 413, almost a third of the way to his next upgrade. At 1,500 experience points, Chen Fan's system would level up, drastically increasing his daily rewards. He'd be pulling in billions a day, easy. And when he hit level 3, level 4, or higher, who knows? Hundreds of billions. Trillions. The thought made his heart race. He had to find a way to level up faster. Now that he had the other shareholders on board, Yongtai Real Estate Group was under control. Chen Fan slipped away, headed for somewhere very special. Chapter 50. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chen Fan arrived at Tinyu Tower. This was the planned location for a secret meeting between the Chen family and Vice President Han from Wanheng Software Group. Unbeknownst to them, Chen Fan was now one of the owners. He immediately called the manager to put some plans into motion around Tinyu Tower. Chen Fan requested some special arrangements, emphasizing that his visit needed to be kept under wraps, especially from the Chen family. "Don't worry, Mr. Chen. We'll get right on it. We should have 80% of it done by tomorrow afternoon for you to review. And your visit? Consider it top secret. Nobody will know." The manager was eager to please. "Good. I'll swing by in a couple of days to check on things." With those arrangements made, Chen Fan left. The next morning, the system alert chimed, "Ding, dot, day 12 of severing ties, reward, 100% ownership of Jiangzhou's largest international golf course, Guanshan International Golf Course." Whoa! Chen Fan was taken aback by the reward. Guanshan International Golf Course wasn't just a golf course, it was the biggest and best in Jiangzhou, spanning a massive area. It was a championship-level course with 18 holes and a par of 72. It was also the place for Jiangzhou's elite to relax and be seen. Chen Fan had heard of it but had never been. Now, he owned the whole thing. More importantly, Guanshan International Golf Course was worth about $170 million. His net worth was now approaching $1.7 billion. Just a few more days, and I'll hit the $2 billion mark. Chen Fan mused. Once he crossed that threshold, he'd be even closer to eclipsing the Chen family and crushing the Jinling Su family. around lunchtime. Chen Fan was about to grab a bite when it hit him. Wait a second, doesn't my Linhai International Hotel have a fancy restaurant? That he'd only acquired the hotel yesterday and hadn't had a chance to check it out. This was the perfect opportunity to sample the food, see the place, and get a feel for things. With that in mind, Chen Fan hopped in his Rolls-Royce Phantom and headed straight for Linhai International Hotel. In the lobby, he spotted a familiar figure arguing with the hotel manager, Xia Ruoshui. Surprised, Chen Fan approached. Ruoshui, what's going on? Chen Fan. Xia Ruoshui seemed equally surprised. Linhai International Hotel broke our contract, so I'm here trying to sort things out. Broke the contract? Chen Fan raised an eyebrow. What's the deal? Well, the Xia family arranged for representatives from our other company branches to visit the Jiangzhou branch for 3 days. They are scheduled to arrive tomorrow. Xia Ruoshui explained, sounding frustrated. I booked dozens of rooms here a week ago, but now the hotel is telling me the reservation is invalid and there are no rooms available. With the holidays coming up, hotel rooms, especially in 5-star places, were scarce. Securing dozens of rooms on short notice was a logistical nightmare. Ms. Xia, we sincerely apologize. An intern failed to properly process your reservation, leading to this unfortunate situation. We've already terminated the intern's employment. The hotel manager explained, an intern, again, even Chen Fan rolled his eyes at the well-worn excuse. Couldn't they find a better scapegoat? Could an intern really make decisions that significant? Are you sure it's the intern's fault and not a management issue? Chen Fan challenged. He wasn't about to let shady business happen at his own hotel. Well, I mean. The lobby manager stammered. That was all Chen Fan needed to hear. Something was definitely up. I'm going to need a resolution to this. Xia Ruoshui demanded. Ms. Xia, I already apologized. What more do you want? Don't be unreasonable. The lobby manager retorted, flipping the script. Xia Ruoshui was speechless. Before she could even state her desired outcome, she was being accused of being difficult. Get me your general manager. The authoritative voice cut through the noise. Chen Fan had stepped up. Excuse me. Get our general manager. Who do you think you are? Why should I listen to you? The lobby manager scoffed, dismissing Chen Fan as some random bystander. Because I'm the owner of Linhai International Hotel, Chen Fan stated calmly. The statement hung in the air. The originally arrogant lobby manager went pale. Was he hearing things? The man in front of him claimed to be the hotel's owner. He pinched his thigh hard. The sharp sting confirmed it wasn't a dream. Why you're really our B-boss? He stammered, fear creeping into his voice. Yep. Need proof? Chen Fan asked pointedly. And no, please wait. I'll get the general manager right away. The lobby manager scurried off in a panic. 3 minutes later, the hotel's general manager arrived, practically groveling before Chen Fan.